Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get your robe open because it's that segment that you really care so much for. It's the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Good news, the bad news, and other shit. I'm never quite sure exactly what order that I'm bringing it to you because it sort of really depends on your perspective. You know, and we recognize that there are a multitude of perspectives out there. I just look at my friends and I go, whoa, if the world is any more weirder than this, it's going to be, well, just to know. So the issue is that the Trump presidency finally took a big punch. Well, I said they took one in the mouth, right in the chops. Pow! Slapped old Donald right upside the head because his son, who seems to have the same degree of intelligence and attention to detail as his father, which is nothing, made the same kind of a stupid mistakes. You know, what's amazing is how incompetent this administration is and how incompetent the son is. They keep busting themselves. You know, so here comes out of nowhere. What we understand is not totally out of nowhere because he knew that his exposure was imminent. So he wanted to get in front of it, but it's how he did it, Vic. They have to have the worst legal counsel to be rich folks in the world or not even listen to them.
Yeah, true.
Donald Trump Jr.'s handling of this and this email, I don't need to go and recount everything that happened with the email, but just the fact that he handled it thusly shows the extreme level of incompetence. Notice that the president is the same way. This is what I've been trying to tell you all along, and I try to relate it to my dating life. Patterns are patterns. When people have patterns, that's the way they operate. And if you try to come in and you don't want to see their patterns and you want to change their patterns, you may have some troubles. For me, that's never worked. So I said the president's pattern was to be sloppy, unwilling to listen to experts that you hire. Because when I looked it up, Vic, some of those firms, those legal firms that they've hired, charging $1,500 an hour. I said, I guess I need to raise my prices. That's
true. Wait a minute.
I need to raise my prices.
Wait a minute. Is this about money or recognition or about power?
Well, how do you pay somebody $1,500 an hour and don't listen to them?
Easy. It happens all the time in politics.
Obviously it does. It does. Because the Trumps are wonderful examples of that kind of incompetence. So the unwinding has begun because this is it. This is real. This is straight him, shows that he's been lying. So when you read these emails and you go back and look at his outrage, his feigned outrage over fake news, such bullshit. And what's amazing is how much lying goes on. And they lie like a 7-year-old. No, 6. Because they give those stupid lies that don't even add up. And the next lie will contradict the last lie. So they lie like a little child, okay? So there's that level of incompetence again. And probably because he's not used to ever having to explain himself.
True.
A reminder of my predictions, because I remind you guys, because when I made, there were a number of people who came up, Mario, are you afraid to talk? I said, they had me in the database for a long time. They got my fingerprints. They already busted me. I've been busted by the police for a BB gun. I was thrown in jail for shooting cans with a BB gun. That's another whole show. So they have me in the system. Like I always thought they wanted to have all black men in the system. That's what we thought. They always try to get you arrested, whatever. Don't get me started. Go on, Vic.
Let me just say that.
I need to take a puff anyway.
See, but you know what? You got to come up with what they call your transitional. You just go puffy time or happy time. You do, one of those things, and you don't have to play that music anymore.
You got to do a sativa in the morning. But what was you?
I was going to say, I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay.
Full term, 4 years, Trump, and he starts to behave like a president, but we don't get health care. Or we get health care, and he doesn't make it full term.
No, that's exactly it. He's not going to make it full term.
So we're gonna get health care.
Predicted, and yeah, because here's what you're going to get health care because as long as I've been a physician, I told the story that I had a T-shirt that said "Health care is a right, not a privilege," and a professor challenged me from the podium in medical school, first year. Okay, and I handled that well. I wish I could go into more detail, but let me just tell you, I handled it well enough that the professor became a sort of endorser of mine. Because I handled it. We always talked about there was no rights. Societies come to agree. But at that time, no one really believed that. So I've been pushing health care as a right since then, okay? Now, and taking shit for it since then, okay? All right, now, come to today. What Obama did, and as much as I objected, is what Obama did is that he infected the American consciousness, and therefore there is a beautiful legacy therein. In other words, your president, by pushing through, and I was critical because he gave $800 million to the same folks that I was sick of controlling medicine. Okay, I'm sick of them. It guaranteed them $800 million, and it did. All I wanted was universal coverage and open bidding for contracts. I didn't get neither one of those, so I was critical. But the president's legacy, and I'm talking about President Obama now, was that he affected the consciousness of the American public so that finally, after all these years of people like me pushing and arguing, it creeped into the mind of the American public that they had a right to health care. A right to health care. And they're not going backwards. Once you give people like rights, once you give people rights, they start saying, you know, like they say, first one wants freedom, then the whole damn world wants freedom. That's Gil Scott. So a right to health care, that's a big deal, Vic, because the President Obama did that. And like you said, so you're going to get health care because the American public has already decided that it's mandatory. And they will vote you out of office. So they're going to get it. Now all you got to do is demand they pay for it, make it, then work on it afterwards. You might have to cut defense a little, so that you don't spend the top three other countries combined. You can back off of that by like 20% and fund all this shit.
Well, wait a minute. We're not supposed to get health care. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, they never wanted to give you health care.
We're not supposed to get it. You know why? Because remember what Paul Ryan said?
Because y'all don't count.
He said, if you guys don't pass this first iteration, this will never come again. Oh, damn.
You talking about President Ryan?
I'm talking about Mr. Ryan.
President Ryan.
I do whatever. Hey, look.
Get
wait
rid of Trump.
So wait a minute. We're doing the dance now. You know what, Mario? Let's come up with a political dance.
Shake your ass?
No, sky's the limit, right?
Vic, you know, by the way, Vic is genius at this shit. I'm not lying. Vic, you may think that's funny, but Victor came up with Pax Stereo, okay? So come on now.
They may say, well, what is that?
They said that about all the other ones.
Wait a minute.
We did the new. I think I brought the new. Then you went to the new. I don't know. I can't remember who starts shit because one of us will come up and say something. Like often Vic will say something and I'll run with it.
See, there they go. Area 51 watching you right now, dude. See, be careful.
So anyway, a reminder of our predictions. I predicted that everything would start within 120 days. That gives me to like, I think it's September something, based on what I predicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I made the predictions on 5/22, and it's up there. The episodes are up there. And I said I predicted the president impeached, 12 to 18 members of his staff indicted. Jared Kushner would do some jail time in one of those country club jails. I predicted this. And I said that 2 to 3 years after removal from office that they would try the President Trump for treason. 2 to 3 years after removal. There's no, as far as I know, it's no way, seems to be, at least they can't agree on a way to charge a sitting president with a crime. But once he's removed from office, well, you know.
Right.
It's fair game.
Yeah.
Except you got to watch out for the presidential pardon. So my commentary really is about presidential privilege and a rush to innocence. And maybe I'm just jealous, you all. Maybe I'm just jealous because as a black man, I've always been presumed guilty. And so to the degree to which they're willing to, the public, a bunch of the public, to look at the president and say he's innocent. You haven't proven anything. There's no proof yet. Jesus Christ, if you have that much proof of your daughter sleeping around, you'd be on her ass. Are you kidding me? Okay, or your kids using dope, whatever. If you had that much proof, or your 7-year-old lighting matches. Okay, how much proof do you need? You know, you find the matches, you see the kid hiding, you know, that doesn't prove anything. So what really is amazing me is how they talk about a rush to guilt. I'm amazed at what I call a rush to innocence. The willingness of these officials, to me, most of whom are sellouts with the taste of cop out in their mouth. The willingness to go on the air and publicly proclaim the president's innocence. And that none of this is evident. They love that. They go, there's no evidence. I go, you got to be kidding. This is almost like, remind you of you say, who you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? That was Groucho Marx, right? No, I mean, I'm just saying, it's amazing, and to me, it's sad. It's sad because, again, what you have is a bunch of people making excuses and going really just far beyond anything just to support the president.
Yep.
And it's just not. Remember, I believe in public shame. So one of the things I believe in doing is holding people accountable publicly. And people might say, "Well, look at that. You're not whipping them. You're not throwing them in jail." I think public shame. I want president's family everywhere they go to get booed. Did you hurt anybody? Did you break any limbs? Oh, you hurt their feelings. Who gives a shit? Okay. They should have be subject to public shame, and that the president deserves to be ridiculed publicly by crowds everywhere he goes. So that's my feeling on the rush to innocent. Public ridicule.
Forget you.
Public ridicule is what the president deserves, and that's what it's all about. Okay? All right. Just a special, simple one today. I'm Mario Hemsley. That's the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Yeah. Man. Well, I got to give you a musical break between...